Shalom, shalom, and welcome everybody to Shabbat Night Talk. My name is Uziel Lewy. I'm one of the teachers of Congregation D.C.B. BINAH. I'm glad that everyone is tuning in with us tonight, hoping that the blessings of the Creator of heaven and earth be with each and every one of you on this holy Shabbat day, and praying that Yahuwah will continue to bless our families and our households with long life, with sustenance, with food, clothing, and shelter, with all the things that are desirable in your minds and righteousness, that Yahuwah will continue to be with us, guide us, and protect us, keep us in good faith and trusting in Him and Him alone, and giving glory to this great King for our lives, for all things and everything. Thanking Him for being God alone, and knowing that besides Him there is no other King, no Savior, no other Redeemer. I give glory to this great King for my life, the life of all my loved ones, the life of Yisrael scattered in the four corners of the earth. Thanking the Creator for knowledge of self and understanding of Torah and understanding of the things that sometimes we don't have understanding of, but we know that through the enlightenment of the Most High God that He revealed things to us, and we're able to decipher different things. And I thank the Creator for all things and everything. Thanking everybody who's tuned in. I know I came on kind of late, but it is getting darker later, so that's going to push our starting time to a late time. I know many of you probably didn't think I was coming on tonight. I needed a few weeks of a break, you know. That's why I have pre-recorded stuff, and hopefully I'll get some more pre-recorded stuff for you guys to some new material for you guys to be able to see and to be able to get understanding of. So, how's everyone feeling out there? How was everyone's Shabbat meal? I hope that everyone enjoyed themselves and everybody was enjoyed the time with their families, with the household, with everyone that was near. If you have visitors in the house, hoping and praying that all of you guys enjoyed yourselves, and that the Most High God will bring a blessing into your homes and protect you and guide you and keep you. Thanking the Creator for everything, you know, for what we have. Sometimes we take for granted the things that we have, but we can't take for granted the things that we have because the Most High give it to us. So be grateful for what you have, the understanding that you have. And like I always say, even through the Shalom, Shalom, Ya'il, Malachi, Yisrael, even if you go through bad times, those are life lessons. So don't worry about the bad times, because the bad times are teachers to us all. So once again, thanking the Creator for all of our lives, for the understanding of Torah. Everybody is in an upheaval because of Mr. Bill Cosby and what happened, and I know everyone has their feelings about it, so I think most of you guys know my position on it. So for those of you that know my position, you know where I stand with that. And we're going to just leave it at that. We pray for the best. We can't forget victims in situations like that. I know there are a lot of people that feel like he's being persecuted and there's an agenda against against Mr. Cosby, but I'm one to say where there's smoke, there's fire. And there's too many instances where this thing has happened, but everybody has the right to their own opinion. People, they have the right to formulate their own opinions, just like I have the right to formulate my opinions on the matter. So I'm not going to even waste time on that or try to get into depth with that. This morning, when I got up this morning, I turned on my TV to the news. I seen that North Korea and South Korea decided to end they 60-something-year-old war that they had going for 60-something years. We started in 1953, I believe. So I guess unity is always good and peace is always good. I seen the president of both places shaking hands and having a good smile and all that good stuff. So what can you say? All you could do is say amen and hope that nothing that is all sincere and that people could work things out, because they are the same people. They certainly are the same people. So just want to give a shout out to the admin on the room, Havared Yisrael, Julie Figueira. I guess I hope I'm saying it right. I almost said Figueroa, but I see it's not Figueroa. Figueira. That sounds almost Portuguese. If I'm wrong, just correct me. To Hanalewi, Moradina Yisrael, Yair Emet, Marcia Yisrael, Kesedia Yehuda, and Yair Emet. Thank you all for joining us. I know a lot of people probably thought I wasn't coming on tonight, so they probably already sleeping or it's just too late. So I'll try to be brief in what I'm doing and what I'm going to get into. I was looking at the word Shabbat Shalom, Elianel Orona. Shabbat Shalom to you. Yael Malachi, like I said earlier, Shabbat Shalom to you. So I want to talk about the word fool. In the Tanakh, you have two meanings, or you have two words that describe a fool. One word is kesil, right? Which means fool, simpleton, adult, a dupe, oaf, a moron. Right? So this is a simpleton. We know what simpletons are. People that, lack a certain type of common sense, as we would say. Simpletons. Not so much a bad person, but just a person that you get over, foolish, not too astute, simpletons, get over on them and stuff like that, right? And then you have another word for fool, and the Tanakh is a wheel, right? A wheel. That means silly, fool also, stupid, right? The definitions are a little bit stronger. A prattler, a sot, evil person. So when we're primarily going to get into the Proverbs, and we're going to try to see the differences between both of these words that we have here. I think it's important for us to do that. I think it's important. Let me just do something real quick. How's everybody feeling out there? I hope that everybody is doing well. I hope that everybody is everybody's having a great time, and that everyone is just feeling magnificent. It's a great day. I love the Shabbat day because you get a chance to relax and be with the family, and all those great things that when the Shabbat day come, we get to enjoy and do, So I'm grateful to the Creator for the Shabbat day. And I'm grateful that the Most High God has given us the Shabbat day. It's a blessing. Count your blessings. You just pull this up here. Just doing some last minute stuff. Give me 1 second here. I like to have all my different things open as I do these lessons because I feel like it's important. All right? So like I said, I'm going to concentrate on the meaning of a fool as it speaks about it in the book of Proverbs. I'm going to concentrate on it. So like I told you, a fool, there's 2 words for fool in the Tanakh that uses the translation, the English translation of fool. One is kasil, right? Kasil means fool, simpleton, dolt, dupe, oaf, or moron. Now a moron is like the lowest of the rung, but basically something that speaks about your intelligence, how bright you are. This is what I get from the word kasil, right? But now when we get to will, right, the definitions get a little bit stronger. Like I said earlier, silly, fool, stupid, right? It's not nice to call someone stupid, but if someone is stupid, is something very strong, and it is no one wants to be called stupid. A prattler, a sot, or evil person. So we're going to go into the book of Proverbs, and we're going to hit some of these points of speaking about a fool. Because sometimes when you follow up a fool, you become like unto them. So when you begin to respond to fools and to be like a fool, then people look at you as being foolish. There's a proverb that says that it's better to be thought of as a fool than to open your mouth and leave no doubt that you are a fool, right? So it's better for people to think that you are a fool than you to open your mouth and say silly and foolish things, and then people really know that you're a fool. You understand? So we always have to be in line and always understand the power of words and the things that come with it. So what is a fool? A person who acts unwisely or imprudently, a silly person. What a fool I was to do this. Synonyms for a fool. These are just the basic synonyms, right? Idiot, ass, a donkey. A blockhead, dunce, dolt, ignoramus, imbecile, a cretin, dullard, simpleton, moron, clod. Half-wit, dope, ninai, nincompoop, chump, dimwit, dimbat, dipstick, goober, coot, goon, dumbo, dummy, ditz, dum-dum, fathead, butthead, numbskull. I won't say that one. That one is a little bit too tough. Darehead, thickhead, airhead, flake, lame brain, mouth breather, zombie, nerd, pea brain, bird brain, sisabill, jughead, jerk, donkey, tweet, a tweeb, goat, dork, twerp, lamer, smuck, bozo, boob, turkey, schmelp, cow, chowderhead, dumbhead, goofball, goof, goofus, doofus, hauser, galoot, lumox, knuckle dragger, klutz, putz, shemiel, sap, meatball, dumb cluck, vulgar. So these are all the definitions of a fool, which are a lot of synonyms for a fool. So you don't want to fall into the category of a fool, right? So it says a person who acts unwisely or imprudently. So I looked up the word imprudent, right? Imprudent. It's an adjective. Imprudent means not showing care for the consequences of an action. Rash. It will be imprudent to leave her with her winter coat behind. So a person who doesn't think about or shows any care for the consequences of their actions. So you have to be very careful of the actions that you take because there are consequences for all that. But a fool doesn't care about that. A fool only concentrates on themselves, and sometimes they lose focus of the things that are at hand, right? So not showing care for the consequences of an action. Rash, a person who acts rashly, whether with the mouth or with their actions. You could be a fool by the things that you say. Many people have become fools by expressing themselves and leaving no doubt that they are fools. So imprudent means an unwise person, injudicious, incautious, indiscreet, misguided, ill-advised, ill-judged, thoughtless, unthinking, improvident, irresponsible, short-sighted, foolish, rash, reckless, heedless. So I hope that y'all with me. Just trying to bring a lesson, trying to teach us not to be fools and not to fall into the categories of being a fool. All right? We have to be very careful not to become fools and not to fall under that category. Oh, you're Guyanese. Okay. But Figueira, Guyana is close to Brazil, right? Maybe your family came from Brazil to Guyana. I don't know. It just sounds like a Portuguese last name. So, if we go now to we spoke about that. Let's go to some of the precepts. Proverbs chapter 10 verse 8 reads, "The wise in heart will receive commandments, but a prating fool shall fall." The wise in heart shall receive commandment, meaning heart also can mean your mind, right? If you're a wise and an intelligent person, when someone is giving you instructions or command, or if you hear the words of the Most High God, you will receive them and try to live by them, right? Because the commandments is the key to our success in life and is the key to life. So therefore, if we are wise-hearted or we're intelligent, we're going to receive the commandments of the Most High God and walk by them, right? This is what Solomon is telling us. It says, "But a prating fool shall fall." So it says, "Chakam lev yikwak mizot," where it will says, "Sepatayim yilavit ovet." So prate or prating, right? Talk foolishly or tediously about something. So tedious, too long, slow, or dull, tiresome, or monotonous. So if you see a person that continues to just talk about the same thing over and over and over and over again, right? They are opposite of being wise. It says a wise in heart will receive commandments, right? But a prating fool shall fall. A prating fool who just cannot get past a certain situation or incident. I mean, 8 years have gone past and this person is still talking about the same thing, right? That's the prating fool, the person who talks foolishly or tediously about something continuously. They can't let it go. They just continue. They just continue. They just continue. And when it's talking about, now remember I told you the difference between the two words, right? You got the Kesil, which means a fool, simpleton, dope, dupe, oaf, moron. That person is not, he's just a simple person, a person that don't have much common sense. It's not an evil person. But a wheel, it's a silly, fool, stupid, prattler, sot, evil person. So there's a difference in the two words as to what it describes. They're both fools, but you don't want to fall into that a will status, because now it puts you on a different status, on a different level. You don't want to be called an evil person, right? I'd rather be called a simpleton than evil, because evil entails that you're doing something absolutely wrong. That's against the torah of the creator of heaven and earth, right? So now when we go back to this word, it says chakam. This is once again Proverbs chapter 10 verse 8. Chakam lev yikwak mi zot no mis wot where a will, right? Where a will. That's the evil person. The evil person continues to talk foolishly and tediously about something. Too long, slow or dull, tiresome or monotonous. Continue, won't let it go. Just continues. We have to be careful about the things that we do and the things that we like to discuss and the things that we like to talk about, because we don't want to fall under these categories of a fool, right? Now we go to Proverbs chapter 10, verse 10. He that winketh with the eye causeth sorrow. He that winketh with the eye causeth sorrow. Those are the very sneaky people that's doing things behind your back, and they you know, they don't be straight up honest. They're always trying to get over. That's what it means with winketh with the eye. Somebody who always has something up their sleeve. They don't deal with situations in a proper manner. They always have a get over scheme. So these people right here cause a lot of sorrow. Why? Somebody's going to be in trouble. Somebody's going to fall into some debt. They're going to get you into some situation. You have to be careful with those people. You got to be careful with those people that wink the eye and always have a solution to something and don't go about doing things the right way. We have to be careful with those type of people. We know who they are. We have them in our families, and we have to not so much distance ourselves from them, but we have to stay away from their fallacies and the things that they do that will bring us sorrow. You understand? So that's who we're speaking about. And a prating fool shall fall. Once again, it's speaking about, it said, koretz awin yitain azavet, where a will, that's that evil person, shefatayim, it said yilavet. So once again, that prating fool, that person that just won't let go, that just keeps talking about them, and it calls them, that becomes an evil person, a sot, a prattler. So we have to be careful about the things that we continue to harp on and continue to talk about, because the Creator is not happy with us with some of the things that we do. We have to be very careful about our situations and the things that we utter out of our mouths, so that we don't fall under the category of that it will, right? That evil person. Proverbs chapter 10, verse 18, it reads, "He that hideth hatred is of lying lips, and he that uttereth a slander is a fool." It says, "He that hideth hatred is of lying lips." Those are the people that they hate your guts. They hate everything about you. But yet when they see you, they give you the biggest shalom. They hug you. They talk to you. They ask you whether how's the family doing. You ever run across some people like that, but yet they hate your guts? You hear about all the bad things that they say about you, but when they see you, you're the best person in the world. They hug you, sisters, kiss sister on the cheeks, but she been dogging you and talking bad about you. But they hide the truth, right? Or they hide their hatred because they know how to put on a facade, right? So in terms, they have lying lips, meaning that they're concealing the truth from you, and that's what causes them to have them lying lips, because the truth is that they don't really like you. So it's like lying lips, like they're telling you the act is a falsehood of them hugging you and kissing you and acting like everything is right. That's considered lying lips, because they're talking to you as if everything is cool, when they really have an issue with you or they hate you. Instead of addressing the issue and telling you what the issue is, they don't do that. They'll rather talk about you behind your back, and then in your face they smile, right? It says, "He that hideth hatred is of lying lips, and he that uttereth a slander is a fool," right? So it says Mekase Sim'a Sifte Shakwer Umotsi Diba Hu Ketsil. So now we get to that Ketsil, right? A simpleton, a dot. We have all the meanings here, right? It says a Ketsil is a fool, simpleton, dot. Dupe, for moron. So let's use the word moron, right? So it says here, "He that hideth hatred is of lying lips, and he that uttereth a slander is a moron." You're less than a fool. A moron is below a stupid person, an ignorant person. Moron is like you're off the IQ chart. That's what a moron is, right? On the lowest end of the IQ chart. That's what a moron is, right? So he that uttereth a slander is a moron. You continue. So what's slander? Slander is the action or crime of making a false spoken statement damaging a person's reputation. There's a difference between a slander and talebearing. Talebearing, you could be telling the truth, but you might be repeating something that someone does not want you to repeat, right? A slander is the action or crime. It's a crime, right? Because if you slander someone's name, what we call character assassination, and these things are not truth, these are slanders, right? Right? Of making a false spoken statement damaging to a person's reputation. It's called character assassination. So you say all these things about people. You talk about people, you talk about their families, you say all these slanderous things. You say all these slanderous things. You are a moron for doing that. It's as simple as that. You're a moron, and the Most High God is going to deal with your slanderous ways. We have to be very careful that we do not fall under these categories and under these different statuses. Like we got to move away from that. We have to move away from that because we have to be more wise. We have to be truthful with one another. If you have a problem with a brother or sister, it's best to approach them and talk to them about it than to slander them and then give them lying lips. You know, that fake love, as my brother Morey Itamar just put, right? And you really hate a person's guts. If you hate a person's guts, then try to talk it out at least, so you stop hating them, because Torah tells us we should not hate our brothers in our heart. Our brother or our sister, we cannot hate in our heart. But yet, some of us, through our actions, we show hate to each other. Some of us, through our teachings, we teach people how to hate each other. And that's not right. Hate the wrong of what a person is doing, but don't hate the individual, because God commands us not to hate our brothers in our heart. Now, you could go against the word of God and make up your own proverb and make up your own status as to how you feel about something, but the Most High God already commanded us not to hate each other in our heart. So who are we to say something different? Holding grudges with each other. Tearing each other down and talking bad about each other, and not coming and try to resolve issues that we have amongst each other. So these are all the things that we have to be aware of. These are all the things that we have to think about, that we have to be in tune with, that we have to prepare ourselves for, because slander is serious. Slander is serious, and we shouldn't be slandering each other. No matter how angry we get, no matter how upset we get, it says that anger resteth in the bosom of a fool. Once again, fool. So we need to we have to keep that in mind as God's people. Let's stop slandering each other. We're all learning. We're all learning not to do that. We're all learning to be godly people. We're all learning to walk in that straight and narrow path, which is important for us. You understand what I'm saying? That's important for us. Let us go back. I know I'm kind of tired, but I'm used to doing this. Let me see. Proverbs chapter 10, verse 23. It is, listen to this, it is a sport to a fool to do wickedness, and so is wisdom to a man of discernment. So it says, sport means entertainment, fun. It's fun. It's entertaining for a fool, for Ketsil, right? That's the moron. It is sport for a moron. I'm putting it in terms that you will understand. Now, a moron is a person that is on the lower end of the intelligence spectrum. You know, on the intelligence spectrum, they are on the very lower end. If you're called a moron, you know, after an examination or something like that, that means you are very, for lack of a better word, stupid. You know, you just don't have any understanding. It is sport to a moron to do wickedness. So a moron finds entertainment in doing wickedness, stealing, robbing, slandering people, talking bad about people, doing all the things that are against the Torah. A moron loves that. It's a sport to him. And so is wisdom to a man of discernment. So in reverse, it's entertainment for a man of discernment to attain wisdom, right? Because a man of discernment He's always going to be aware of his future. A man of discernment, he thinks about his future. He thinks about what's to come, right? So he's going to want to take in all this wisdom. Now, we often mistake the wisdom only being to knock. That's not the only wisdom that you attain, brothers and sisters. We have to live in this world. We have to attain wisdom in different fields. Like if you're a computer technician, you have to attain wisdom in that. So you attain in wisdom and righteous things in order to improve yourself, right? How to open up businesses, how to manage businesses, how to buy property, how to do all these things. That's entertaining or fun to a person, right? To a person of discernment. Why? Because a person of discernment thinks about the future. They think about how to shape up their future and how to have things in line. But not a fool or a moron. His sport is to do wickedness, rob people, talk about people, slander people. That's their sport. So we have to be very careful, like I said before, that we do not fall under these categories, brothers and sisters. Let me see here. Let's move to the next one. Move to the next one here. Give me 1 second. I hope y'all with me. Here we go. All right. Proverbs 11, verse 29. It reads, "He that troubleth his own house shall inherit the wind, and the foolish shall be servant to the wise of heart." So now it says, "He that troubleth his own house shall inherit the wind." So, meaning if you disrupt things in your house, you're going to inherit nothing. Because as a man is supposed to build this house, build the foundation. And when it's talking about when I'm talking about building your house, I'm not speaking about physically build it with your hand, because you might not be a builder. We're talking about the mood of the home and how the home is supposed to be and how things are supposed to be running. You know, if you trouble your home, you shall inherit the wind. You're going to lose it all. God is going to take it away from you. So we have to be careful not to disrupt our homes with foolishness and with things that will be naught to us, that we will inherit nothing out of them. It's important for us to understand that men and women, don't trouble your home, right? Don't bring issues into your home that have nothing to do with your home because you see the next door neighbor doing it, or your girlfriend, or your homeboy, and you see certain things. Your house might be running just perfectly the way it is. And then you come and you throw something, you throw a monkey wrench in it, and then you inherit the wind. You lose everything. So we need to be careful about that. It says, "And the foolish shall be servant to the wise of heart." And the foolish, once again, the stupid shall be servant to that wise-hearted person, because that wise-hearted person is going to gather knowledge and information when the fool is out there doing wickedly, right? So some people are going to cut out to be bosses, and some people are going to cut out to always be servants, right? You could trouble your home by, in the 80s, mid-80s, and when that crack epidemic hit, there were a lot of people, men and women, that were good people, and that crack epidemic hit, and women got on that rock, or man got on that rock, and families went out the window. Very few families made it through that time. Married women were out there selling themselves because of that hit, or stealing stuff from the family house or whatever, and husbands were out there, doing all types of stuff, and and sleeping with other women with that that had diseases, and that were crackheads, and bringing that stuff home to their wives, who were not indulging in that lifetime and lifestyle, and then give their wives certain diseases and certain things, and because it was a whole lifestyle, so those were the wicked things, and those are the things that how you trouble your home. Those were, we all of us here probably knows people that did that troubled their homes in that manner. And you see the destruction of our community because of those drugs. Dope fiends and people of that nature, and we beginning to see a reemergence of the opioids, like people, these young kids popping mollies and all these things that take their minds away, and they become addicted and don't know how to control it. We have to be careful with that, and we have to be an example. We have to be careful with that. We have to be careful with that. Many of our families were destroyed because of those situations. And the thing that gets me, because I seen that crack epidemic firsthand. Remember, I used to walk home from school, and all I would see like empty lots, or around abandoned buildings that were littered with in New York City, it was crack vials. They used to sell crack vials, red tops, green tops, whatever, whatever corner you went to, or dealer you went to, depending on what color the top was. And you would just see people forming lines at a abandoned building somewhere. And this was all through New York City, not just one neighborhood. It was a lot of empty apartment buildings that were abandoned, and that was the office, and there'd be lines of people lining up to go get them drugs. If you went to places like Harlem, like sometimes I used to go to Harlem, and Harlem was the worst that I saw. The amount of crack vials. I've literally seen crack vials on the floor like grass, like you see grass on the floor. That's how bad Harlem was. Like certain empty lots, 116th Street, places like that. It was a real bad epidemic, and a lot of people troubled their homes in getting hooked on those drugs and destroying their families. It was sad. Those were hard times. And then today, now you see this opioid epidemic, and you see that now they're giving cops kits so that they're able to revive these young Caucasian kids who are overdosing on these prescribed medication that they got from the cabinet that their parents left there. Now, I'm not saying because they're white that they shouldn't be revived. I'm not one of those type of Israelites. I don't do that. But my point is this: it shows you the injustice and the unfair treatment of our people, because when our people fell into those drugs, into that crack epidemic, Ronald Reagan and Nancy Reagan declared a war on drugs. That was code word for a war on black people. So today, when one of these kids overdose on drugs and the cops hit them with the shot to bring them back, they don't get locked up for having possession of Percocet or even having some dope on them. They're treated as just addicts. They're taken to hospitals so that they could recover. They're taken to recovery centers, so that they could detox. But you know what our parents' recovery center was? Jail, Rikers Island, whatever local jail you from, or whatever state. That was your recovery center. You went to jail, you went to see the judge, and if you was too much of a repeat offender, he gave you 6 or 7 months. That was your go away into the mountains to get detoxed. And they criminalized. They criminalized users, people that weren't even violent, got felonies for not committing a crime, but just being hooked on a drug. Just like now, all these states are passing marijuana laws, right? So now, what about the brother so now since marijuana is legal in so many states and you can't be arrested for it, what about the brother who was doing a little side hustle selling marijuana? Because now it's legal. You got dispensaries, you got all types of stuff, and people are using it. And I'm not a marijuana user. I don't advocate marijuana use, but I know some people do it. So, but what about that brother who 20 years ago might have been selling some marijuana here and there? He got now he got arrested with the marijuana, a criminal possession of marijuana. He has a criminal record, or he might have gotten a felony for selling the marijuana, right? And because he has a felony, it's hard for him to, or he pled guilty to possession of marijuana with intent to sell, and that automatically becomes a felony, and he might get probation. But now they tell him, now go out there, get yourself a real job. Don't do this, don't do that. But now because he's on probation and he copped out to criminal possession of the marijuana with intent to sell, now he has a criminal record. He can't find a job. He can't find a regular job. So what options does that brother have? Because wherever he goes to, they shut the door on him. They shut the door on her. They got sisters that got caught up. These conspiracy laws that send people away 10 years for just having a conversation with somebody that you grew up with that so happens to be a drug dealer, but you know them. You're like family. And they saying that you were on the phone talking about drug sales and things of this nature. I've heard it all. People been locked up for things that they didn't even do. So where is the fairness in the justice system when it comes to that? Where was the fairness, back then? But we was looked at as pariahs and animals and deviants and people that just didn't care. So we just got to be thankful to the Creator for showing us that He's with us, showing us that He understands us and that He loves us, and we have to reciprocate that love by being obedient and keeping His commandments. You understand what I'm saying? Narcom, right? Narcom is the name of the drug. So we have to be, we have to be on top of it. We have to have our eyes open. We have to continue to move forward and do the things that we do so that the Most High will bless us, right? So that God will continue to be with us and protect us. Now, like I said, I don't want anyone to overdose on drugs no matter what color, but I'm just saying, just to show how today is not a war on drugs, which it should be, but today is, what do they call it today? An epidemic that's spreading throughout the countries, especially within the suburbs. So that's code word for, mainly, our Caucasian children are the ones that are getting addicted the most to this. Not saying that some black kids is not out there foolishly doing these things, but basically this is what's going on. So let us move on because I digress. It says Proverbs 12:15. The way of a fool is straight in his own eyes, but he that is wise heart hearkeneth unto counsel. It says the way of a fool. It says derek, right? The way. A wheel is once again that evil man, that evil person. So the way of, derek a wheel, yashar be'enayo, shomea le'atsa chakam. Le'atsa chakam. So the way of a fool is straight in his own eyes. So a wicked person, everything that they do is right in their own eyes. They can't see wrong in it because they have to justify their wrong. So they have to stand strong and they foolishness. So they're right in their own eyes because nobody else look at them as being right. They're evil person. Evil call wrong right and right wrong. Those are evil people. So, but he that is wise hearkeneth unto counsel. Wise person. Right? Chakam. Right? Hearkeneth unto wise counsel. It's beautiful. It's beautiful to listen to counsel, to hearken to it. I pause for a second because I'm trying to take in the depth of it. A wise person, a person of wisdom, well-learned person, hearkeneth to counsel. So no matter how hot that person gets, no matter at what point that person is, they hearken to counsel, and it's for a better good. When we are people that begin to hearken to the counsel that is given to us, we become a better people. Believe you me, we become a better people. It says here, every prudent man dealeth with forethought, but a fool unfoldeth folly. Wow. So every prudent man dealeth with forethought. Prudence, a prudent, acting with or showing care and thought for the future. So every prudent person deal with forethought, meaning you always think about the future, and these are the things that we don't do as black people because we look at the situations that we're in and we say we can't do it. But to be prudent, you mean like when you have a child that's born, you're supposed to put some money aside, maybe for a college fund, maybe for a retirement trust. This is the things that our Caucasian counterparts do that kind of keep that generational wealth going with them. You feel what I'm saying? So we have to begin to start thinking in those ways so that when our children get to a certain age, they're not struggling. A lot of the times why in our community things happen is because, or why kids turn out a lot of times the way that they do is because of the lack of resources that are available to them. If you're not on top of them, they're going to be lost in the wind. And unfortunately, a lot of the black parents, have to work 2-3 jobs in order to take care of 2 and 3 children. So the children are left to fend for themselves because the mother, a lot of it is single mothers who are taking care of the children. And the children have no supervision, unless there's a eldest child who's responsible and won't allow the younger siblings to do what they want to do. So those are the things that we have to be thinking about. So it says, uk seal. So this is talking about the moron, right? The person that's not that intelligent, right? A fool unfolded folly, it. A fool, right? So the moron unfoldeth, it. They call it folly, but it's talking about that evil, right? Because it's because the root for it is the same one as that other fool, that evil man, right? So a moron unfolds wickedness, you could say, and does wickedness and do wicked things. We have to be careful with those things and the actions that we take, because we don't want to fall under these categories. Proverbs chapter 14 verse 16 reads, a wise man feareth and departeth from evil. That's a wise person. You fear, right? You fear who? You fear the laws of God, right? So that's what you fear. So you depart from evil. You don't want to be around evil because you don't want that evil to touch you. But the fool rageth and is confident. Uxil, once again, the moron rageth, like King Kong, and making noise and screaming and yelling and doing all that stuff, and is confident. But they're confident and they're wrong. They're wrong and strong, as we will say. That's a fool. That's a moronic person, you know, a person that's not too bright. You rage, but yet you're wrong. When in contrast, a wise man feareth the laws of God and departeth from evil. But you being a fool, you rage, and in your rage, you say things out your mouth. You disrespect people. You disrespect elders. You disrespect parents. You disrespect anyone. That's a fool. It reads here, and this is the last one I'm going to read before I shut it down. It said, he that is soon angry dealeth foolishly, and a man of wicked devices is hated. He that is soon angry dealeth foolishly. It says, Quetzar apayim yaase iwelet, foolishly. Weish mesimot yisne. So when you get angry so easily, you become wicked. You do wicked things. It said anger resteth in the bosom of a fool. I'm not going to get to all of that. I'm going to do a part 2 to this. You don't want to be counted as that person that's fool or that's foolish. We don't want to be counted in that bag. We want to be counted in the bag of people that do that which is right. We live for the moment, not for a future. So we have to be careful what we allow to come into our minds, what we allow to infiltrate into our minds. The worst thing that you could do is, besides sinning yourself, is causing someone else to sin. So you cause people to hate people that they don't even know. Like, these are things that that's why we have to be careful with slander and things of this nature, because You will have people hating people that they don't even know. They don't even understand the person, or they don't even know how the person is, but they'll hate them off of an opinion of another person, although they've never met the person before. You have to be careful with that. How do we release rage if it were to ever come upon us? I understand what you're saying about disrespecting people to their face, but is it all right to be in private and release the frustration? I always find that when I'm frustrated or I'm irritated, I exercise and it burns it right out. You know, whenever I'm stressed out or irritated or whatever, I work out. I got a heavy bag in my garage. I take my frustrations out on it. There's many things that have happened to me that people have said about me that I wanted to react, but the Most High God put it in me to do better, because now I'm a man. At the end of the day, you know, I'm not perfect. I want y'all to know one thing about me. Chief Uziel is not perfect. Chief Uziel make mistakes. Chief Uziel falls and scrapes his knees sometimes. Chief Uziel is just the guy that the Most High God uses to bring forth this message, but I'm not this, great pious person, And I know sometimes it's hard to walk away when people are saying things, insulting you and things of that nature. And to tell you the truth, I don't even know if I'll be able to do something like that. But I'm practicing, I'm practicing, and I'm hoping that if something like that ever happens to me, that I can walk away. Whenever I'm stressed out, I cook and clean, even if it's clean. And you cook again too, even if you already cooked. Tamika Yevra. Thank you, Snowmekio. Thank you for the compliment. So yeah, we have to be careful as to what we do, because we influence people. I know that as a teacher, regardless of what's happening in my personal life, I can't allow that to trickle into my work that I have to do for God. You understand what I'm saying? As teachers, our job is to teach God's people His laws, His statutes, and His commandments, and how to bring spirituality to people so that people are able to receive the Most High. So, hey, that's just how it goes. We all make mistakes. I make mistakes. You make mistakes. I don't stand before you talking as if God sent me a direct message and I'm a direct messenger from the Creator. I don't talk that way. I studied. I've come up, and this is what I do. But I'm not far from being perfect. I'm just like y'all. You might catch me in a bad moment, and you might be like, wow, Chief Uzal had a bad moment, but I'm only human. So, thanking the Creator once again. I'm tired, but I braved it through. I didn't see y'all for about 3 to 4 weeks. I took a little break, so next week I should be back on. I know that y'all enjoy this. You always tell me about this. You always talk about the Friday night talk, the Shabbat night talk. So I enjoy y'all's company too. Yair says, I've been irritated and frustrated for a while now, but I ain't never did nothing to nobody who ain't already have it coming. That's a funny one. Sometimes you feel that way, but right now you kind of gotta, we have to be careful with our reactions, because there's cameras everywhere. There is consequences for reactions, and a lot of times people start stuff, and when you end it, you end up with a force, and then you're deemed a bad person. So we just have to use our better wisdom and not get ourselves into situations that will put us away for a long time. So yes, once again, giving glory to the creator of heaven and earth. Don't forget, tomorrow, same bad time, same bad hour, 11 a.m. Eastern time. Join us. If you're new, please subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to like the video when it's, while the video is on. Just give the video the thumbs up. Like the video. May the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob bless each and every one of you. Shalom, shalom, and see you in the AM. Hallelujah.